Hi chickadees, my name is Mandy and I'm very new to YouTube and I just wanted to do a short introduction video. I have been really called to make a video series about how I became Wiccan, and I just hope that even if it's only one person, that this video series can help someone else. So let's start off with a brief introduction. My name is Mandy Snowfell. I have only been on this path for a little under 2 years. Sorry, my cat is always involved in anything magical that I do. I grew up extremely independent, fundamental Baptist, which is very stringent, very strict, very rules oriented. There really wasn't anything that drove me away from the church per se. There wasn't any cataclysmic event that happened. There wasn't any one person that caused me to change my mind. It was something that came from within. Like I said, I grew up very independent, fundamental Baptist, and I'm thankful for that in a way, because it instilled a great sense of ethics and morality in me. I tend to be a very addictive personality type, so I think that without those stringent rules, I probably would not be the person that I am today. However, my soul just felt incomplete. And when you feel that incompleteness, you just feel like you're searching for happiness in everything in the wrong places. And I felt like that's what I was. I was making excuses for myself on why I didn't want to practice, why I didn't want to be involved in society, just things like that. I was very prone to depression. I'm a very emotional creature, so my emotions tend to ebb and flow, and they were more ebbing than flowing. A lot of times I was very negative and very critical and judgmental, and I didn't like that about myself anymore, and I decided that I myself needed to change. So in November of 2013, I went on a quest to find my spirituality. I had told my husband that I was looking into an alternative spiritual path, that I just didn't feel like I was getting what I needed from the church. It was something I wasn't feeling spiritual fulfillment. I was involved in church, I was involved in many ministries growing up, and it just wasn't something that resonated with me. I just felt like I was doing it for all the wrong motives. I just felt like it was something that was telling me that it wasn't for me, and I was ignoring it. And when you ignore something for so long, you just become desensitized to it. So I told him I wanted to do some research on different religions, and I wrote down all the spiritual attributes that I wanted to practice in my life, and I started trying to correlate which religions emphasized those. And I'm going to be completely honest, because of the way that I grew up, Wicca was something that I didn't even consider. I'd always been involved in Disney magic and Harry Potter and just the fantasy aspect of it all, and so it was something that I just didn't even think about. The negative stereotypes outweighed the good for me, and I just put it at the very, very bottom of the list. So I started searching, and nothing was right, and then I just started trying to look within myself. And there was just one point where I decided I'm going to get rid of all negative stereotypes of everything in my life, that I'm not going to judge something on one person's opinion. So I started doing research. I'm a very analytical person. I need to know why I'm doing something, and I needed to know what this was. So I started looking up Wicca, and I really, really started to feel a connection. Now, there are a lot of negative stereotypes out there. It's not Satanism, it's not worshiping the devil, it is more of an earth-based spiritualism. It is getting back to your roots, getting back to the fact that you are powerful, that you have the choice to create what you want. And I started going to YouTube. And we all know that YouTube is the fountain of knowledge. And I came across two life-changing YouTubers, and if they're watching, they already know who they are. I can guarantee it. The first one was Charming Pixie Flora. I loved everything that she had to say in her videos. She just emulated so much joy and so much power and so much positivity, and I needed that in my life, and I wanted that in my life, and I just started watching every video that I could get my digital hands on. And I went through all of her videos so quickly that I was so thirsty for more, and so I started looking around for more, and the second witch that I found was Kimmy, who at the time was going as Autumn Star Moon and now is as the Lovely Little Witch. And she had so much to teach me. She really did. I resonated with the fact that she grew up in the same background that I did. She had a lot of the same issues that I had. She even worked in the same retail space that I work in. So it was a really big spiritual connection, and I don't think that they completely understand how much they changed my life. So I started really digging deep into it, and I started practicing that month, and I cast my first circle, and I don't think I've ever resonated with anything so strongly as when I did that. I just felt this overwhelming sense of completeness, that I had finally found that path that was meant for me, that was chosen for me. I was able to look back and realize it's always been there. I would sit underneath my grandparents' trees, the willow trees and the oak trees, and just sit there and just be, just connect, lay in the dirt, lay in the grass. And I've been like concocting mixtures my entire life. I would mix twigs and dirt and acorns. I used to collect acorns. I would just squirrel them away for the most random reason. Nobody knew. I don't even know. But I mean, now I connect so heavily with oak trees that it makes so much sense. So I started practicing, and I started reading a ton of books. I got a lot of Scott Cunningham books. I got Diane Blake books. I got just a lot of fact-based, because I wanted to know everything that I could know. And there are many different types of Wicca out there. And I would definitely say that I am more of an elemental witch, more of the cottagey type witch. I really am connected to herbs and incense and home and hearth magic. I do practice a lot of candle spells, so I definitely resonate with that. My husband is extremely supportive. He is still Christian, and we do consider ourselves to have an interfaith relationship. My path has definitely caused him to realize that there is more than one path out there for the same spiritual nourishment. We're all unique individuals, and why should we try and practice exactly the same? You can have two people that need nourishment the same way, but they're going to want to eat two different things, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so my husband has been extremely supportive throughout that. I was really afraid to tell him about my path for the longest time, and something just told me, it's like, you need to trust him. You have always been able to go to him with everything, and why should this be any different? So I told him, and we of course had the talk about what he thought were the stereotypes just as much as I had thought they were, and he started doing research on his own, and he realized that the type of Wicca that I practice is very therapeutic. It is all about making the world around me a better place and making myself a better person in that better place. And I could not have been more happy with my decision, and he could not have been more happy with my decision, because we've become even closer. We've always been close. My husband is my #1 person in the entire world, and we've become even closer because of this, because I do have more good days than bad now. I just know how to focus on my triggers and stop those triggers before they really become an issue. and I have this path to thank for it. So it was just something that really struck me, and I have not looked back. And right now I am doing my year in a day with Kimmy, the lovely little witch, who has always been one of my role models, and I have gotten so much support from so many people. I have to thank Flora Sage, I have to thank Kimmy, Charlie Says Go, Eric Silvermoon, all the people that I have just gleaned so much information from you. I just need to thank you, because you've never met me. You've never met me in person. Most of you have never even talked to me, and you've changed my life. You've changed me and my husband's life. You've changed the people that I'm touching, their lives, because if I can help one person, then you have done that through me. And I have to say thank you. And I will link all of their YouTube channels and Facebook pages below so that you can go like them as well. And I don't expect a great audience. I don't expect thousands and thousands of YouTube subscribers. I just want to touch one person's life. I just want that one person that's out there that is meant to see this video to know that if you're feeling that spiritual incompleteness, then go find it. It doesn't have to be Wicca. It doesn't have to be paganism. It doesn't have to be Catholicism. It doesn't have to be Judaism. It doesn't have to be Christianity. It can be a sense of just being yourself. But there is something out there that will make you feel complete and make you feel whole. And I encourage you to go out there and find it with all your heart, because it's out there. And it may be in the very last place that you look. And usually if you're feeling resistance to something, it's because it's meant for you. If something is hard, it means it's great. If something is difficult, it means that the reward is going to be so much greater, so much better, so much more worth it. So I encourage anyone that is feeling that discouragement to just have courage. Courage is something that I had to dig deep for. And I'll talk about that hopefully in my next video, about how I connected with my matron. And she is a goddess of courage. She's a goddess of fire. She's a goddess of light. And I hope that I can bring you spiritual enlightenment just like I was given. And if you like this video, definitely make sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe so that you can see any more videos. Go over and check out my Facebook page, Chickadees and Dragon Scales, and look at my lovely candles. And I will see you all next time. Snowy blessings!